Today I would be discussing a lot of things because I heard a lot of things today. Uh, a lot of things has been happening today from uh, today evening. So one of the worst news I heard is one of my very close relative passed away, and this person was my brother's father, and uh, basically he's one of my relative, my brother, as in like not my really close brother, but he's one of my cousins, and his father passed away. And I think I've seen my brother struggle a lot from being very poor to earning for his own self. I have seen him struggle for almost 5 years for getting a job, for coming out of the small town he used to live in. He had very, very big dreams, but like every other person, he was limited by his limited beliefs. And I think it took me a lot of time to help my brother to come out of that miserableness he had inside, and I could help him gain his confidence. I mean, I didn't always handhold him. I handheld him for almost like 2-3 years, and after that I had to leave him alone for some time because I think me pampering him to understand that life is limitless, life is boundless when you dare to dream and when you go after what you dream. I think that took me a lot of time to convince him of that, but even when he understood it, he still felt that things were on autopilot and he had to live as a poor person because he was born in a poor kind of setup. But I used to give him a lot of examples, as in like I remember my grandfather was also one of those people who was very poor when he was born, but he had that guts to dream. He had the guts to leave the place he was living in, and he had the guts to come out of that small town he used to live in. He took up a government job. He didn't tell his parents about it. I mean, he didn't even have a mother actually. His original mother, like the biological mother, not original, sorry. His biological mother had passed away due to cancer when he was just 7 years old, and he didn't even know what having a mother was. And then, my great grandfather married someone else because he had a lot of children, and after that he had some my grandfather had some other step brothers, but he never looked at them as step brothers. He looked at them as brothers. But I think my grandfather always had he always wanted to pamper his wife, his daughters, his granddaughter, because he never got that love of a mother when he was a child. And his stepmother was very nice, was very good, like she was very, very kind, but he always missed his biological mother also, but he also loved his stepmother. So coming back to the topic, so my great grandfather, I mean not my grandfather's father, but another grandfather who was my grandfather's elder brother. So his first son passed away today, and I remember, I used to tell my brother a lot of things, that you can come out of this, you have the guts, you have the potential. I mean, I used to do just that, and he used to always tell me that you are the best sister anyone can ever have. And I just feel very bad that now he is working now in one of the most greatest company like I've heard of he is working in Mahindra, and I remember there was a time when for the last 5 years he had no job. He was totally stuck in that situation. He felt that his life had ended. He was that bad in that situation. So seeing him happy now, going to different places, whatever he used to tell me was there in his bucket list, he's doing all that, and now he lost his father, is something which actually hits me in another level, because after all we are all blood relations and you feel for the other person. So it's kind of a very heavy energy I feel right now, because I feel for my brother, and sometimes you just can't do anything about someone you care for, even when you actually care for them. So it's really something very difficult I heard about, and that's where it made me realize this one thing: life is so short that, send that message, talk to someone you want to, call someone. So that's the thing I just wanted to say. And I don't know, I'm just feeling so emotional, because I feel very like this brother of mine is very close to me, and I feel his pain. Losing someone who you love to death is very painful. Anyway, I don't want to make this any more stronger for you guys. So today I had a discussion with one of my friends, and this is that same friend I was talking about few days back. So I just realized through this conversation, this one thing, that something which I see similar between every guy and every woman is that guys want to provide. So until and unless things are ready for them, they generally do not get into a relationship or whatever it is. And women, they are super emotional. They always want you to see the emotional side first, and they don't care if you have everything ready in that relationship or not. They just want to be with you. And that's what I have learned, that this friend of mine, in the other recording, I think I posted some 2 days back about something about relationship dynamics or something like that, and I was stating this friend of mine. So today he called me again, and I don't know, he's going through a very bad time. So I'm one of those people who people call when they're going through a bad time, and I listen and I try to help them as much as I can. So one thing which I realized in this whole discussion with my friend was that guys think the similar way, women think similar way, but when for example, if you have read the book of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, so I read just a few part of it. I didn't have that much, it is too much theoretical. It generalizes a lot of things, which is not every guy would behave the similar way, not every woman will behave the similar way. But something which I found very much similar is that something in this book was written that every man, when he feels a lot of emotions, he goes into a cave. And that's actually not a healthy way of dealing with things. Maybe it might be a way of processing, but that's not a healthy way of dealing with things. So basically, my friend was going through some financial struggles few years back, and his girlfriend, he used to call him and say that she's also going through some financial struggles, and instead of seeing the emotional side of the matter, he tried to give logical solutions. Now, mostly when we share things with our boyfriends or husbands or whoever it is, I don't know, what is your marital status, so we generally expect them to listen. We don't actually want the solutions, we don't want anything, we just want that somebody is listening to us. But so every guy would think that how can I solve this problem, how can I help this person, and he was coming from a point of view that I want to provide for my girlfriend, I want to help my girlfriend. so he was coming from a point of view that I want to provide for my girlfriend and etc. So he said that, you got a chance, a very good opportunity somewhere outside. So basically she got a very big opportunity from a very premier college, and their relationship was already going through a lot of things, and and he kind of said that you should be only concentrating on your career, and you should not be concentrating even on your family's financial problems or on our relationship problems. And he might be giving a very logical kind of solution in all these kinds of things, but it's not actually when you see from a woman's point of view, it's not actually a very good suggestion you can give to a woman, because I know the women's point of view. I know how women think, I know how men think. Now, I mean, I do not know how men think totally, but up to a certain extent I find certain things similar between men and women, which I have seen in my relationship and which I have seen in from my other friends. So what is similar is guys want to provide for women, and women want the nurturing and women want the emotional side of guys. But what happens is that you might be what you are. You might be trying to give logical solution. You might be as a man, you might try to give a logical solution to your women, and as a woman you might try to give the emotional side to a man. But what we need in any kind of dynamic, whether you are a man or a woman, is that you need to create a balance. So once you create that balance, that's where nobody is dissatisfied. So basically, when a girl is opening up to you or a woman is opening up to you, you should be giving that emotional touch or aspect. That's it. If she wants a solution, give the solution. Otherwise, don't give a solution, because most of the time as women, when they share anything, it's not to give any kind of solution. They just want you to listen. And that's something which even like I've seen in my relationship as well. Like I used to say a lot of things, and my guy used to think that he needs to do something to help me. And to be honest, like, it's not a wrong way of thinking. Usually when people open up, they want someone to help, but many a times it's always about listening and being there with her in her when she feels that she's going through a lot of things. And so basically these expectations need to be met, because when we don't understand the love language of our partner, that's where it creates a little bit problem. And that's where actually you can create a lot of balance when you know their love language. So that's what I've heard, and it applies both ways. Also, one more thing which I came to realize is that so this friend of mine, he was building some kind of financial empires or something like that. I mean, he's a very ambitious kind of person, and it's okay to be ambitious, but you should not be forgetting the relationship aspect. So the main problem between they being not together or something like that is because they that's what I learned and thought to share with you guys, is that you need to understand your partner's love language. Is very important. If you're a girl, then you need to if you're a woman, you need to understand your man's love language, and if you're a man, then you need to understand your woman's love language. That's very, very much necessary, because it's where all the arguments start. And so one more thing which I've learned from my relationship and from general discussions with other people, like my family members as well, like, so whenever we fight, the other person needs to be quiet. So if Mary is fighting, John needs to be quiet, and if John is fighting, then Mary needs to be quiet. So if both of them are shouting, that's where the problem arises. Second thing, so today I kind of had a very huge dispute with someone who is like a sister figure to me. So she has a habit of saying things very bluntly, and she will message me. She will not call me, she will message me. That's where all the misunderstandings arise. So the tone of the messages you can't hear, and that's where the problem arises. And most of the time she's always bluntly telling me things, and the other person, it's not just me, it's with like many of the people I have seen her dealing with. So she will always give a blunt side, and she says that she can't sugarcoat it, but the other person also doesn't always have the patience to take or understand her point of view which she is coming from. So even I have learned in my own corporate career that you cannot expect the other person to understand how you are. You need to actually see how this person is, and you need to mirror that person that way. So there are many people, like if you have seen the Pride and Prejudice, Mr. Darcy. So Mr. Darcy was a very good person, and Elizabeth mistook Mr. Darcy as someone who had a lot of pride, uh, who didn't want to deal with people, etc., etc. But the problem with Mr. Darcy was only this one thing: he was very blunt, and he thought what he thought. He was not ready to blend with the crowd. And that's where actually, I don't know if you guys have seen Pride and Prejudice, but that's something like Mr. Darcy is one of the most beautiful classic figure. He's like I'm not talking about the side of Mr. Darcy where he cannot gel with people, but I'm talking about the romantic side of Mr. Darcy. He was a very, very nice person to be with as a fictional figure. So so that's where I feel like that's where the problem arises. So people mistook Mr. Darcy as someone who was very cold, but he was actually not a very cold person. So sometimes what happens, people misunderstand us as someone who is maybe like not ready to open up or something like that, because we stick to our habits. We do not mirror the other person. And today a fight happened between me and my sister is because like she was continuously doing something arrogant, and she was not ready to admit it, and I lost my temper, and that's where all these things happen. So what I learned from all these kinds of interactions is that whether it's my friend's story, whether it's a fight with my sister or anything like that, I just understood this one thing, that you need to mirror the other person as it is. Like you cannot carry your way of dealing with things with them. There needs to be a common ground, there needs to be a middle ground between both of you. So that's what I realized, and I think I thought of sharing this with you guys, because in relationships there's a very common thing that learning the dynamics and understanding the dynamics is very much important, because that's how harmony is created. So that's about it for today.